One big mistake you can make when you retire, and whoa, could this be a big one? Be careful, watch out, this might take you down. Hey, this is Jeff at Below Average. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. Let's see if we can get some conversation started, because this one could be a wide vast of scenarios. I am just looking at one, and one that I have seen and can definitely see myself falling into. And that is, first, if you ever watched any of my last videos, I'm preaching nothing but first, before you retire, that you have a budget wrote down. You keep track of every dollar you spend. You do it for an entire year, and you'll be able to come up with all the little incidental things that come up with money. Christmas is one. Birthdays, car breakdowns, medical, dental, house repairs, whatever. All these different things that you might just blow off when you do a budget, especially if you're just doing it in your head, that you can miss. And after a full year, you see what your average expenditure is per month, and you match that number up with what you're getting for your Social Security check whenever you retire and claiming Social Security, and you add that with your, if you're one of the billion people who get a pension, or your 401k money that you're going to be utilizing. Match those together, and that's where you, if everything can cover all your bills, because you've been keeping track at least for that year, you have a good idea of what's happening. That's a good starting point. That's a good point. I look at it as that number has to match only what you get for your Social Security check. And then your 401k and pension is extra. But let's just say you combined them and you ended up retiring early. What is the big mistake? Now I'm going to focus in on not if you're 70 and retire, or 69, 68, or even 67. Those are definitely getting up a few later years. Could be the case. I'm really focusing on people who decide to leave the workforce early. I'm going to say more than likely I'm looking between 60, 65. So you got a couple years. You can't draw Social Security, and you might be in that group where you are drawing Social Security. And just for the example, you go about 1 year, maybe 2 years into it, and the one big thing you noticed, everything else you feel you did pretty good, the one big thing you noticed is that if you wanted to take that little extra trip, you don't have the money. If you want to buy that one other slightly, extravagant item, whatever that is, for X amount of money, you don't have the money for that. You'll have to take from one of those three groups, Social Security, or your if you have the pension or 401k, you have to take extra from that. I'm probably looking at the 401. And you have to take extra from that to cover it. You don't want to do that. You did your due diligence, kept track of a budget. You did it for a long period of time. You came up with the number. You matched it up with your retirement stuff, and you made the decision, and it's worked out so far. But you're definitely seeing, I can't quite do a few of the things that I was thinking of. So that could be the big mistake. Whoa, some people say big mistake. What I say, big opportunity. Big opportunity. Especially if you're in that group we're talking about, 60 to 65 years old. That group, right in there anyways, give or take a couple years. You have that. You're retired now, all of a sudden, hey, you know what? I wanted to be able to make an extra trip to, I don't know, say Florida. I wanted to spend 2-3 more weeks there. Maybe you go once, now you want to go twice a year. But the extra, quite a few hundreds of dollars, or 400, 500, 600, you just don't have it. You want to make a trip anywhere in the United States. If you want to make a bigger trip and it's going to cost you a couple grand, you definitely don't have it. But here's the opportunity. If you retired earlier in that group that I've just mentioned, the one thing you have versus if you stayed working at your job is you have the time to go do it. Not the money yet, but you have the time. What's the biggest one in there? Time. As long as you keep these one big mistake that you'd want to make a change on, as long as it isn't crazy money, if it's something small and manageable, This is an opportunity for you, that your fellow workers that are still went back to work on Monday and are work another 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years before they retire. This is the one thing you have over them, and it's time. So how do you correct it? How do you, hey, I need an extra $500 or $1,000. I want to go to Florida. I want to do a small travel. I want to do something like that. I want to go somewhere. I want to do something. I want to buy something that I didn't plan on, that I want to do. What do you do with this opportunity? You are young enough easily to still go back to work. Now, I'm not even saying going back to a full-time job. Never go back to the full-time job. Never do that. You have all kinds of options. This is the time in your life as of right now that there is more what I would call, what people call side hustles, secondary jobs. There is a billion, that feels like, different scenarios that you can do to make the extra money to pay for the bill, the one big mistake that you felt like you might have made. Now, easily, what are they? The easiest thing first is if you retired and you had a major skill, electrical, mechanical, plumbing, or you can do all that kind of work, it wouldn't take you long at all, at a very good rate, helping people out, to end up making that kind of money where you can charge 20, 25 bucks an hour cash under the table and go fix something for somebody, do something for somebody. And it wouldn't take you long at all to be able to go out and make that little extra trip that you need the $500 cash for, because you do not want to take from your retirement money at this point. Off hands, you go earn that money. If you're physically, you can go earn that. Now, if you don't have those type of skills, which I don't, below average, I don't have those type of skills, is what you can do. You got all kinds of avenues. The easy side hustles you hear about, which I do, eBay, you got Mercari, you got all those type of things. You might already be selling them and totally forgot about it, and say, you know what, if I just take a bunch of the things I got laying around the house and sell them, I save that money up, I can pay for that extra trip for now. Or if you want to expand on that, you can go buy some stuff at the local thrift store. You get the right time of the year for garage sales, estate sales, estatesales.net. You can do that, flip the money, use it, and end up paying for that short term, one big mistake that you think you made. Okay, you getting the theme? It's not really that big of a mistake. This is an opportunity because you have the time. You're just lacking a little bit of money, and hey, you just go earn it. Now, the other easy thing to do is just find some regular part-time job in the area, something you can see if you can go work 10, 15 hours a week, letting them know that, hey, you're going to want to take a little time off soon. And I tell you what, if they don't appreciate it and they don't like it, you can tell them there's 10,000 other people you think you can go hire them. Once I quit, then I'm done. I'll go find something else, because the part-time gig scenario, all these companies are hiring, and the same one will probably hire you right back after they went through other people. So as long as you do good work and you show up for that little part-time gig you got going, I'm sure they'll accommodate you. If they have half a brain, they will. Other easy scenarios, things that I've somewhat looked into. I know people who've done like Uber Eats, DoorDash, or the Uber drive-in or the Lyft. These are other little scenarios for which you can pick your own time and do. I don't think none of this stuff is that you're going to make all kinds of money. You're not looking at it like, I need to make X amount per hour. Is what you need to say, hey, I want to take that extra trip wherever I want to go, and I need $500, $800, $1,000 in cash before I can do it. So if I have to go out and I have to deliver X amount of DoorDash, Uber Eats, or pick up X amount of people from an airport and drop them off, or there's the ones I think they call like DoorCard or something like that, where you can go shopping at your local grocery store for people and drop off. Those are the things you could be looking at. And all you have to do, it's not about how much you make per hour. It's what you're going to end up needing, because you're looking for something that accommodates your time. Because you remember what you have that your fellow coworker don't? You got the time while they went back to work on Monday. So, simple, easy workarounds. Now, if anything gets really large or crazy, You have to rethink that one. And if you are drawing Social Security, is what you have to want to make sure you do is that if you earn too much, they will come back and take some of your Social Security back. It's a pretty good sum of money. If you're looking at just saying, hey, I just want to make if I made a couple $100 extra a month to pay for that one big mistake that I wanted to end up going to do, you'd be fine. You should be fine. Look into it first to see where you're at and see at what age where that's no longer a factor. Because if you are maybe you are get healthy, you're fine, you're physically fine, and maybe you went 5-6 years into early retirement. Now you're in your late 60s, and you say, you know what, I'm kind of getting bored. There's a few things I might want to go buy that cost a little more than I thought. Maybe I just go dive right back into the workforce for a little while. Just make sure that you're past the age and where everything's fine, where they won't come back and take anything Social Security from you. And if you can do that, which I knew of one person that went back 2 times after retirement. I'm sorry, 3 times after their first retirement, went back for periods of time to work because of boredom and wanted to save up a bunch of money to go do whatever. I don't know. I never asked. So that can be done later. But this is really focusing on, you're a little bit earlier where you got all the physical capabilities of still walking, doing things. This is simple. Very simple to do. So this isn't a mistake, kind of like the thumbnail, big mistake in retirement. This is an opportunity for you. If you've done your due diligence and did your budget and created everything that we've already talked about, and your numbers line up, and you just, after a year or so, and your retirement run short, simple, very simple to do. And you would be going into these part-time jobs or some reselling or side hustles or whatever. You're going into this with the mindset that you technically don't need it, but you want it. So this gives you the ability, if something don't go right, you really don't like it, you don't feel like you're stuck there. You can just say, you know what, it's not kind of for me. Fulfill your obligation for the short term that you're there and give them time to let them know what your thoughts are and what you're going to be doing. Be respectful of that and move on to something else, because this age, this time frame, and in 2025 coming on up, for many years here, it looks like that all forms of different types of jobs are out there that never were there 20-30 years ago. You can never go online and sign up and do something and do all these types of things. That stuff was just never heard of. Now it's all over the place. It's given all kinds of opportunities for people later or for an early retirement or later in retirement, or just a side hustle because you need the extra money in your place. Yeah, maybe you're not getting overtime at your place. You need a little extra money, and this is what you want to do. So, not a big mistake. It's an opportunity. Remember, I've said it a few times now. The one thing you have over your coworker, if you did the early retirement and now just need a few bucks, is you got the time. They went back to work on Monday. So, hey, this is Jeff again at Below Average. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. Getting very close to Christmas. Tell everybody have a happy and Merry Christmas. And we'll see you later. Thank you. Bye.